With a family dynasty stretching back to Tudor times, will the spirits of its former occupants make themselves known at Carew Manor? Carew Manor was once the country seat of the Carews, one of Britain's most prominent families in Tudor times, and a dynasty which would dominate the area for centuries. The manor has been graced by a number of royal visitors over the years, including Henry VIII, James I, and most prominently Queen Elizabeth I. Although there have been many alterations over the years, the roof of the late medieval hammer-beamed Great Hall dates from about 1500 and is the only Grade 1 listed building in the London Borough of Sutton. By 1709, the estate had become run down, and although lacking the wealth of his ancestors, the owner, Nicholas Carew, had the house rebuilt. 2 deep wings were added, but soon after the building work was complete, the north wing was gutted by fire and the whole interior destroyed. This part of the house remained in ruins for years, and was still largely empty in 1859, when the Carew estate was sold and converted into an orphanage, which operated from 1866 until 1939. There are also underground caves stretching around the area, and these could be extensive, although most of it was filled in during the later 19th century. The manor is now a private school. There have been many reports of paranormal activity at the manor. The ghosts of Sir Walter Raleigh and Queen Elizabeth I are said to haunt the grounds, but this is more likely to be folklore than actual witness accounts. Poltergeist activity was reported in the north wing following the fire in the 18th century. A young girl has been heard laughing along the corridors, and been seen walking across a small bridge linking the former infirmary, and as well as dark shadows, a face has been seen staring out of an upper classroom window. The adjoining churchyard holds a mass grave of young girls, relating from an epidemic when the manor was an orphanage, as well as the spirit of a nun, which was seen as recently as 1972. Carew Manor has never been investigated before, and to maximise our time here, Spiral will invite fellow paranormal investigators Damien O'Dell and his team at APIS, Richard Court of Renegade Spirit, Martin Lever of UK PRS, and special guest mediums Paul Cecil, Andrew Grant and Norrie Miles for a night at this historic property. Splitting ourselves into 2 teams, we take a tour of the location.
My name's Damien O'Dell and I run a group called APIS, which is Anglia Paranormal Investigation Society. And tonight I'm here at Carew Manor by invitation of my very good friend Mark English of Spiral Paranormal. And it's nice to do a joint investigation. I feel we don't do enough joint investigations, and it's something that I want to encourage in the future. Yeah, it's Carew Manor tonight. As I say, it's never been investigated before, so it's a particularly interesting one for us to join forces, and we'll be very keen to see what sort of results we get. Whoa, can't stop him. Yeah, same spot, isn't it?
Right there, yeah. So here it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Having no prior knowledge of the building's history, we begin the walk round with guest mediums Andrew Grant, Paul Cecil and Norrie Miles.
Just sensing in there's definitely a man approached me just sort of just to say hello really, and he's I swear blindly it has something to do with Debenhams, the shop, somehow something to do with that going back in time. You know, the guy was almost like a vicar, or he looked vicarish or priest-like, or you know, he had a black suit on, but I couldn't work out whether it was sort of oldie-weldy, a Victorian man in the 1930s who still dressed Victorian-ish.
I feel quite strange, like sort of sensation here. You know, like you breathe in fresh air. Yeah. But it's a funny sensation there. But it's like I'm in the fresh air and I'm breathing in fresh air. But I think that I've got a condition that's with it.
I've got 2 children, two young children. It's almost like you don't often see a family of spirits, do you? Really?
No, the whole family.
No, but there's no man there. There's just there's just the wife.
Do you know?
and two
Can you say
children.
what sort of time period?
It's going back some time. It's more, not that I know about textiles and fashion, but it looks like it was a classic ghost-looking thing. White Victorian, like almost like the family were lost here or something,
Right.
fire or something. I don't know. You know, just some incident they belonged here.
So Paul, here we are at Carew Manor with the first investigation group to get in here in long 500-year history. If any, what's your sort of immediate reaction? Sort of what's coming to you, if anything?
I mean, walking down the corridor, certainly there's nothing but just out there. I haven't been saying anything to anyone, but certainly there's been lots of impressions of different timelines and different energies passing by. So I've just been kind of watching them and intermingling with them a little bit, just without saying anything to anyone, and just seeing how it all evolves. So obviously, as we go through this evening, it'll be interesting to see whether they come forward and to start talking and see what we uncover. There's something here. I mean, I'm feeling it
it's
here.
getting stronger. It's building up.
You can feel it building. Whatever's going on.
Yeah.
Do you think
Definitely.
we're in for an interesting night?
I think we are. Yeah, that was quite interesting because as soon as we went into the hole, obviously I walked away from you guys, but I got the sense of a fire taking place. But I kept that to myself, and then Martin walked over, who's never done anything like this before in his entire life, and said, "I can smell burning wood." And all the time I was walking here and walking around, he's literally standing on my shoulder, and he's literally breathing down my neck. I didn't like the feel of him. I wanted to push him away, but I couldn't. He was there, and all I could hear him saying is, "I'm going to get her later on, I'm going to get her." And he's pointing in Norrie's direction.
Whilst we walked around on the first floor, medium Alan Barnett explores the cellars.
Used to be,
Wine?
so obviously, what is it, a wine cellar?
Yeah. Looks it, doesn't it? I haven't really been back up here yet to pick up anything else. The cellar is great, quite a few orbs bits. Apparently picked up the same as me and Angel went down that long tunnel to a room down the bottom of there. And as we walked near the door, we both got the same thing. Felt like we're being strangled, like taking your breath away. And we went into that room, and we were standing there, and it was getting worse. It was as if someone was strangling you. And you could feel it, literally.
Is anybody picking anything up?
Flash. Okay, what I want you to do is just imagine just above your head there's a bright ball of blue light. Just want to imagine it start off quite dim, just get it brighter and brighter and brighter.
Upstairs, Paul, Andrew, Norrie and Mark move into the great hall.
We feel that they are around, but they just don't. They're just not.
They're
Anything's
usually
coming.
not. That's what I've been getting in here a lot. The spirits are coming up very close, aren't they? Not quite.
But not
They're
ready
sort of a bit
to.
unsure of this,
Yeah.
but-
Okay, then could you show us a sign you're here? Could you make a sound? Could you stamp your foot like that on the floor? Rattle the windows, the doors. Move a table. Touch one of us.
Just stay where you are, like you've got a young boy come right up behind you.
Hello.
Right behind you.
Very warm up my back.
Yeah, he's a very gentle energy. He's just come in, walked down the side, and you just came. I just noticed him as he got to the table behind you, and just came. He seemed to be interested in you. He seemed to be totally oblivious to the rest of us, but it seemed to centre in on you.
It's very warm behind me. I don't know if that's any relevance.
I mean, the only things I picked up from the minute we came in, walked through with you, and I said about there and through this corridor. There's various, I think, but for me the strongest thing I pick up is a woman coming through here. And into that room, that 26, I pick her coming into that room as well. And she's not a servant, she's a lady, she's the lady of the manor, she's,
Right.
you know.
This is some DVR equipment that we brought along tonight.
We've got 3 cameras, which are 0 lux, so they can completely see in the dark. Each camera has a 100-foot run of cable. We're going to put a camera up at that point there in the Great Hall, and we're going to try put another one over there in the far corner. But we're first going to just run some tests just to make sure that the IR doesn't interfere. Interestingly, the DVR cameras picked up this object in the hallway. It is more than likely to be an insect, a moth for example, as it is reflecting off the infrared beam. Yeah, first floor classroom.
And there's another bloke called Alistair joined me here. I don't know if he used to be a teacher here or...
No.
Say again?
What do you know?
Alistair. Not sure, it might be first name, last name, I don't know, but it feels like this man wants to take me to this room to sort out, to just go and sit in this room where these beatings happened. And it sounds like really on the edge of nasty, you know.
Betty told me, the cleaner, she said that one of the teachers used to be really nasty. It was in either the computer room or cell.
And you might be going back to your 1940s, 1950s again, something, you know, decades ago, you know, not... It's something that seems to reoccur in there. There's something, I don't know if there's any little problems in that room, or people might feel angry or ill in there, or computer equipment goes wrong, or the lights, you know, there's something about those 2 rooms, but it's definitely about the spankings and whippings, you know, birch, whatever it is, you know.
With eyewitness reports of a female energy moving across the walkway, linking the school and the former infirmary, Mark invited Alan and Nori to see what they could pick up on.
I can pick up here, I can feel the energy changes. The stairs are different to the landing, and the landing is different to here. But the doors are different to what the landing is and what's out here.
Okay, you know, like I said about a hospital feeling here, but also that someone, it's like someone being restrained.
I get someone running across. Running across from this side to that side.
Can I push you a bit more on that?
A woman. But I wouldn't say a woman actually, I'd say a young woman. Obviously not old, young. That's it.
A young girl has been seen running across here from there to there.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well done, you.
Thank you.
Before we left here though, Nori was suddenly shocked to see something by the doorway.
No, I don't. That was horrible. It was about here,
Yeah.
and it was orange, but it just looked fucking deformed. That was really freaky shit.
Oh, good.
Really, that was strange.
With Apis exploring the attic area, we entered a classroom where a dark figure had been seen on numerous occasions.
Just thinking, that white lady around you, lady in white.
Yeah.
Bit angelic, and
Yes, sir.
and she's also wearing there's almost a hint of green in what she's wearing. There's a whitey, sort of greenish glow around it as well.
Does she walk in the main building?
No, is this Alicia?
He's talking about Alicia.
It's about Alicia's his guide.
There's somebody from Mark there.
Somebody by...
Somebody for you.
Oh.
Guidance figure, because we're sort of on that wavelength a bit tonight, I think.
Our visit to Carew Manor had been very interesting, with the mediums identifying a lot of the history and events surrounding the property. With such a vast location to cover, we feel we've only scratched the surface with regards to its paranormal activity, and a further visit will be definitely needed in the future.